Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of the Grimaldo Group where we love helping families create wealth through home ownership. And today with me is Andres, and I want him to say his full name because it sounds so cool. Me, I'm just Angel. Angel Ramos is just short, concise, and to the point. But what's your full name?
My name is Andres Gonzalez de Salceda Villavicencio.
Lord have mercy.
A sus servicios.
It kind of carries weight. And Andres, I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you.
This young man, if you don't know yet, he is a realtor with the Grimaldo Group, which he's very effective, very proactive, and he's only 19 years old. That's the unbelievable thing. He started working. How long ago did you start as a realtor?
I started in December of 2021. So
2021.
Coming up to my second year now.
Cool. And I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you because I don't think everyone out there still knows who exactly are you. And are you born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, or from Mexico?
No, I was born and raised here in Arizona. I was actually my brothers. I'm the youngest of the three, and they were both born in Mexico. I was the only one born here.
Okay, the baby of the house. How does it feel to be the baby?
Awesome. It feels great.
You get spoiled?
I would, yeah. Maybe my brothers say so. I don't really think so, but you know, that's what they say. So
okay. Well, how is it being a realtor, or better yet, what took you to want to become a real estate agent?
That's a very interesting question, because for a very long time I wasn't too sure as to what I wanted to do exactly.
Really?
I was in school, my grades were good. I never, had a struggle with school, but what I did struggle with was finding something that would entertain me and at the same time, be effective. And
pay you some money?
Exactly. So I would, look at math. I was like, you know what? I don't really like math. I would look at science. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to be learning about biology the rest of my life. And then I also looked at history. I was like, yeah, history's cool, but I also, it's not really going to affect me now. Yeah. So I took into consideration, since my aunt was actually in real estate and my dad, he is a investor himself. And it kind of dawned on me, and just through kind of brainstorming as to what I wanted to do and how I wanted to line up my future, real estate came into thought. The main reason was because in real estate as a realtor, I make my own schedule. I'm my own boss. I tell myself what to do. And obviously that's a good part, but at the same time comes discipline when you have to create your own schedule.
Now, do you talk to yourself, because you're your own boss and you tell yourself you got to wake up early or what?
Yes, I definitely do. That's something that comes with the discipline, waking up early, making sure, you're sticking to your schedule, because if you let loose and start to let go, things can fall very quickly for sure.
So you believe in entrepreneurship?
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because your father's an entrepreneur, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So you've seen that, and now you're living it. Okay. Because one thing is to see others being involved in entrepreneurship and developing businesses and living from them, but now you're in it.
Exactly.
And what has been your experience like in this almost, year and a half?
It's been great, really. I would definitely go as far as to say that it's been life-changing. My whole perspective onto as how I used to think about things and how life works is completely different prior for me entering into real estate. So I've learned a lot, and it's been really great.
With regard to entrepreneurship, which is the primary focus in this, because we're all business people, if you're in real estate, do you believe in having mentors?
Yes, I do. I wouldn't be where I'm at without one. Thankfully, Juan Grimaldo, my team leader, he's been, backing me up essentially throughout this whole entire, process. And it really does help having, someone on your right hand, helping you out, guiding you as to what you need to do and what process you may need to follow to reach success. So I definitely 100% agree. If I were to just enter this industry solo, I don't know if I would have made it.
You can crash and burn.
Yeah.
Quickly. I mean, you need to have the structure, the logistics, and the support to grow and expand.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, it's like being a one-man army, or are you going to join a force where there's a common denominator and everyone comes together with a team concept to excel and succeed and win the battle?
Exactly. Yep.
So that's important for you to know, and I always admire you, the fact that you do always want to be
thank you.
part of the training and so on, because it takes training, does it not?
Yes, you definitely have to invest in yourself, invest lots of time into training, because you don't know what you don't know. And if you get into a situation where you may have someone that, asks you a certain question and you don't know the answer, well, you better start going and find that answer, because you don't want to miss out on a very good opportunity.
It's always important, and I know that you know this already. If you don't have the answer, be honest about it, but
Exactly.
also say, I will find the response for you. We have to be diligent in the job that we have, because it's pertaining to people's life-changing events. It's, for example, purchasing a home is not like purchasing a bike, is it not?
No, it's the simple fact that it's one of the biggest investments that someone will make in their whole entire life even. So having a very knowledgeable, real estate agent, someone who studies real estate and studies their work is very important.
Now, having interpersonal skills, is that important for you with regard to the real estate industry you're now part of?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
So it requires polishing and developing and not being so shy. I mean, anyone can be an entrepreneur. There's all kinds of businesses out there. There's some that you can remain behind closed doors and provide some form of service. But if you want to be part of the real estate industry and proactively be out there, you will have to be minimizing whatever it is that's holding you back. If you're shy, well, develop yourself into becoming more involved and outgoing.
Yes. No, it's funny because through real estate, I actually my Spanish has gotten a lot better. And if I would have just started from the very beginning and said, oh, you know what, my Spanish isn't too good, I'm gonna kind of shy away from Spanish speakers. And that was actually something that I considered in the very, very beginning. I'm not gonna lie, when I was starting real estate, but you just can't think that way.
That's right.
You got to work. If you have something that you're struggling with, and you need to go ahead and identify that issue and work upon that, so you could essentially get past that. And it's been really great. I mean, my Spanish is so much better than what it was in the very beginning, and so many opportunities would have been missed if I would have just said, you know what, I'm going to, let this go and I'm just going to focus on English clients.
Well, that requires yourself to put yourself in a situation. I'm going to challenge myself. Exactly. I will challenge myself. And you did that. Rather than caving in and behind the,
staying comfortable.
Because I've always mentioned the fact that being too comfortable will lessen your productivity.
Exactly.
You won't create as much. You won't succeed as much. And talking about the market, there's, in essence, two markets out there, the English-speaking and the Spanish-speaking. We know that there is a large population of Spanish-speaking folks out there that if you don't speak their language, they're going to be kind of holding back, and they're going to go off and find someone else.
Oh, yeah, and I would say now my business is most likely composed of 70% Spanish speakers, and then the rest of the 30% is English.
Cool.
So it's a very big market that I would have missed out if I was just like, you know what, I'm going to stay comfortable in my little bubble.
Now, what is in store for your future? Where do you see yourself, 5 years from now?
Well, that's a very interesting question. 5 years from now, I would definitely have, become an expert in as far as what I'm doing for business. I would have definitely, dipped my toes into investing. Possibly fix and flips maybe, or just buying and holding in general. So I would have definitely built my real estate portfolio, and it's, I'm in the right industry to do that. So I don't see anything stopping me.
So mindset is very important to you, because to talk about the future, you have to put the effort. I mean, one thing is to dream, but the other thing is to dream, plan, and then execute, is it not?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I would say I would even go as far as, having agents under me that are, possibly showing agents. Maybe they're just showing me a couple homes. I'll cut them, 20, 30%, whatever it may come down to. And, I wouldn't have to show homes anymore, and I can just kind of handle the negotiations and all that aspect. So instead of just me going out there in the field and, singling myself to one client at a time, why not help out multiple families at the same time and expand my business that way as well.
So you'll be a force multiplier.
Exactly.
So in essence, you'll be a Juan Grimaldo.
Yes, that's the goal. That's the goal.
It's not bad. You find someone that's effective in what they do, and you look up to them, and you learn from them.
And you mimic it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we always, refer this, if there's a wheel, you're not going to want to reinvent the wheel if it's already made.
You can make it better, Mm-hmm. You can always make a wheel or a tire better. That's what they're doing out there.
Exactly.
The wheels for the cars have been around for quite some time, but they always want to make it better. Mm-hmm. And so I applaud you for that. And then with regard to the market, what can you tell your generation out there?
Whoa, yeah. So
Took you back.
Yeah. I mean, I speak to my friends a lot in regards to investing and preparing them. It's a difficult conversation because a lot of the people, my friends, 19-year-olds, 20, 21, 22, 23, they're around those ages, possibly in college at this time, or maybe just working, their job, kind of getting an idea of where they want to be in the future. And even if you're in those situations, if you have the ability to invest, I would 100% recommend act on it now. There's a lot of programs out there to help out people as yourself, and it's a lot more easier than what you may think. And even if you get a small little property, a townhouse, something small, it doesn't have to exactly be a big house, but if you could at least start putting your money towards that property and paying down the mortgage, that property is going to be worth so much more in the future. And 10 years from now, 5 years from now even, you're going to be looking back and be like, thank God I purchased that property. Because I see a lot of people who are like, you know what, I'm getting my first apartment and everything like that. But if you think about it, all that money that you're putting towards your rent is going nowhere but your landlord's pocket.
Yep.
And if there's a way where you could at least put some of that money towards an investment property, that's going to make a very big difference in your life.
A world of a difference. I mean, your generation, there's probably a lot of your friends they're still living with their parents, correct?
Yes, yeah.
So, and yeah, as you mentioned, sometimes it gets to the point where I want to get my own apartment. Well, maybe you should take advantage of the fact that you're living with mom and dad and start working towards having a property of yourself. If you don't want to move anywhere, all right, because you're so comfortable with mom and dad, but you can still invest in a piece of real estate, you can put a tenant in it.
Exactly. Yes, and that's what I've been telling a lot of my friends too. If you're living with your parents, awesome. That I live with my parents, and I'm gonna just build up my real estate portfolio so much until the point where, like, okay, maybe I'll decide to move out. But
or they kick you out, maybe.
Yeah, that too. But I always say the example: if you have the ability to live with your parents, buy a house. That's an even bigger reason as to why you should buy a property. Because if you just buy the property, you could rent it out. Okay, maybe you're paying $200, $300. You're already paying that as a car payment or insurance. Why not pay that money towards an investment that's gonna be so much more? Also, or just purchase the property if you really do want to move out and you're considering an apartment. Why don't you just purchase a home with 2-3 friends, maybe some cousins or family members, and rent out the rest of the rooms, and they're going to be paying off your mortgage for you.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned rent, and we talk about rent. But the concept is that many folks in your generation, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm almost your age, but not exactly, but they'll go out and get an $800 to $1,000 payment on a car because that's the dream car. I was your age, and I always wanted to have the nicest car possible. But instead of renting things, instead of investing, because it's not an investment, paying money into things that are not going to be moving in the direction of the inflation,
Mm-hmm.
I would purchase things that move with the inflation. And real estate is a prime example.
Oh, yeah.
And I would rent those things that lose value.
Exactly.
So if you really need a car and you don't want to buy a used car cash, then maybe you should consider leasing. And I'm not a tax person, even though I deal with them. But I would consult with your tax person and evaluate. Do I really need to purchase this beautiful car at 19 years old, 20 years old, right? Where it's going to cost me $1,000 a month. That's going to minimize your ability to invest in real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all, it comes down to the debt to income ratio. You know, if you have a high debt on your monthly payment, it's going to be very difficult to qualify for a home. And I have a lot of buddies myself that, you know, have some really cool cars. I'm not going to lie, you know, and if they would have just played their cards, you know, maybe a slightly different way, where they would have purchased a home first and then rented that property out, start making some income, and then buy that car,
Yes.
they would have been in a much better situation.
You get more bang for your buck that way.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? And then later on down, we were talking about where do you see yourself 5 years from now. You're creating the foundation right now. And when you talk about building a house, the most important part about building a house is the foundation. Because if the foundation is not done properly and you start building upon
It's just gonna fall apart.
it's going to start having problems. You're going to have problems. And certainly we don't want that.
No.
So I admire the fact that I see you in moving in the direction of building a solid foundation. 5 years from now, God willing, you'll be looking back, and now when you're at a certain level, now you can start enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Yes, definitely. And it's not just real estate as well. There's a lot of other ways, because I have a lot of buddies that are like, hey, well, how about the stock market? I personally don't have that much intel as far as, you know, stocks. But one thing I could tell you is there's other avenues that you could invest in, such as a lot of popular ones are Roth IRAs. But an even better one a lot of people don't talk about is actually insurance policies and life insurance. There's a lot of, you know, ways. There's retirement accounts for that. That could simply, you know, prepare you for your for the future, and more than what a stock would give you in return.
So diversification of investing, real estate, and you mentioned life insurance. I understand you're working on getting your life insurance license?
That is correct. Yeah, that is also another avenue I'm working on right now. I'm looking to get my life insurance license so I could just give my clients the best service possible, you know. One thing is, you know, helping them get their first asset or expand their, you know, real estate portfolio. And then secondly, life insurance ties in because that actually solidifies your assets and keeps them protected.
Awesome. Well, that's very good to know. If you or anyone out there that you know that would like to invest in real estate, buy a primary home or a second or third or fourth home, feel free to give us a call. Andres, myself, Angel, the Grimaldo Group in general is always eager to assist. And now, life insurance as well. If you have any questions related to term life insurance, whole life insurance, there's all kinds of products, annuities. If you're retiring soon and you want to do a rollover, your 401k, feel free to give us a call as well with regard to that. Any last words, Andres?
No, I just if you're around my age, just know there's a lot of possibilities out there. I would love to, you know, chat with you and explore your options. But just don't think because maybe you're in your early 20s, it's not the right time to invest. It's always the right time to invest.
Well, we got a wealth building seminar that's coming up in October 14th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And we'll put more information out as we get closer to that date. But you're part of that.
Yes, yeah.
And so I call it the Youth Action Network with you and your generation to send out, spread the news that you can be also a part of what is happening here in real estate in the Phoenix greater area.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well
said.
I want to thank everyone for spending a few minutes with us. And again, Andres, say that name again. Say that name again.
Andres Gonzalez de Salceda.
De la Ciudad de Mexico. Soap opera guy. All right, guys. God bless and have a wonderful day.
Peace.